Washington, Pennsylvania, a comfortable, sleepy little town where nothing much happens often. That is, until some of the town's zombies start acting up again.
Action zombies.
This is the area where the original film Night of the Living Dead was made, and this is the town where they are filming the remake. So this is the town where the movie company came to find its stars, the unactors who would play the undead.
I think for the most part, just the whole thing is in such a rural place. We wanted, I want to say, the hillbilly, redneck, really unsophisticated look, and that's not meant to be demeaning in any way. It's just that country, if you want a farmer, go find a farmer look.
In real life, they can be farmers or physicists, but they are never professional actors. The movie company prefers to use people who happen to live in the area.
If there were movie stars in it, it would destroy the whole feeling of the scare. If you were walking through a cemetery, and I'm sure if you've ever been in the cemetery, you must have felt at some point, wouldn't it be creepy? Because you know what you're standing on, you know. Wouldn't it be creepy if one of them just came back?
Yeah, that sounds pretty creepy. So, is there a zombie school of acting? As it turns out, there is. It begins with the advice of the film's original director, George Romero.
When George was directing his films, there was the three Dead films. He only gave one lesson, and that's don't drag your foot. Just don't drag your left foot. It looks too much like the mummy, you know. We even had movement instructors come in and do exercises with our stable of zombies.
And they have obviously been effective. Most of these zombies are frighteningly realistic.
Zombie on the left, raise your hand.
You sort of lead with your eyes.
I just think about, either grabbing people and tearing their flesh off.
This is not a glamour job. These people stand around in the cold for hours. They do take after take from dusk to dawn, and you know what? They're having a really good time.
The one night I scared my mom half to death.
So what does it take to be a zombie?
I think it takes a lot of patience and a lot of desire to want to sit through the makeup and the wardrobe, and just a certain spunk that you want to get out there and be a monster.
The next thing I knew, she asked me to be a zombie. I wasn't sure how to take that, but I wasn't sure how to get out of it either. Reluctantly, I sat down and let the makeup man bring out the zombie in me. I look like an old pizza. What is this?
It's called gel blood.
What's it made of?
It's made of it's real blood that we take from dead bodies. No, I'm kidding.
What's it made of?
It's Caro syrup.
It tastes like mud, which gets us to the next step of the process, costume. The style is decomposition chic. Once you're done, you feel like a dustbin in an overcoat. Now all that was left was the acting. That was easy. I was already scared stiff.
Let your hands hang down.
Yeah.
So your jaw has to be slack. Just relax your jaw and look up.
Okay.
And never, you're blind. Never stare at anything, okay?
Okay.
And just, I tell you what, walk right toward me. Now, okay? Over here.
I'm practicing.
Mark.
Action! That's a cut.
Well, I made it. I lived through my Hollywood debut, so to speak. I know I'm not much of an actress, but if a reviewer happens to see me and says that I'm lifeless and dead, I guess that'll be a compliment.
In 1991, the New Kids on the Block were the richest kids on the block, the highest paid entertainers in America, and their lead singer was Donnie Wahlberg. But now, the pop star's singing a different tune.
He's not here, Crane. He ain't here, man.
Donnie Wahlberg is an actor.
There came a point in my life where I got tired of doing the same old thing, and I knew I had to make a change. And, that's what I did.
Action!
When it comes to acting, the 27-year-old is once again the new kid on the block. But Donnie's career is on a roll.
Second, man. Clark, you never said nothing to me about killing no kids.
He co-starred in Ransom last year as Cubby, the good-hearted kidnapper. And now he's wrapped up a new thriller called Body Count, along with funny man John Leguizamo.
And here's Donnie. Just practicing my dance routine for me and John. We got a sequence where we just dance.
Wahlberg has hung up his dancing shoes for now, but back in 1985, music was the way out of Dorchester, a tough neighborhood in Boston where the then 15-year-old was growing up.
A lot of people don't make it out of Boston, and when you're growing up in the streets of Boston, you start getting in trouble. I mean, crime finds you, you know.
Body Count's director, Robert Patton Spruill, grew up with Wahlberg.
Donnie definitely was a scrapper back in the day, you know.
Was he a bad kid? Never. Never.
Donnie's mom, Alma, says her son's drive, and yes, maybe some toughness, helped make the New Kids on the Block the unimaginable success they became, by 1991 earning $115 million.
The truth is, they were good kids. Yes, Donnie was like the wild one, and maybe a little bit more daring, you know, to try this or that, but they were growing up through that.
Even with Donnie's reported public brawling and a charge of hotel room arson, which was later dropped, his bad boy reputation didn't seem to hurt. Donnie helped make a star of his younger brother, Marky Mark Wahlberg, by producing his first album. But by 1994, Donnie was feeling burnt out, and he retired from performing.
I think it was just time to move on, you know, for New Kids on the Block. I think we had sort of done all that we could do for the time being.
Tank was coming after you.
Flash forward 2 years, and now Donnie Wahlberg is playing tough for a living. First in a straight-to-video film called Bullet, then in his well-received role in Ransom, and next as a robber in Body Count.
You know, he had his rumble days, but that's also what makes him so appealing. Everyone likes the tougher guy, the sweet, tough guy.
But doing Ransom did leave the new actor with one problem.
I saw Ransom with Marky, and, you know, Marky has a great physique, and you know, we were watching it, and when I first came on camera, on the screen, Marky said, "Wow, you look like Fat Joe." I had gained so much weight and stuff that I just decided again to make a change in my life. And I lost 19 pounds, got a few muscles now, and I feel better, you know.
So now is it time for New Kids on the Block to get back together? After all, that other former kids group, New Edition, has done it.
I play golf and work out with Johnny Gill from New Edition, and you know, he always tells me, "Man, it's time for your reunion too. You can do it." But it's time for the New Edition reunion. It's not time for New Kids on the Block reunion. You know, someday maybe.
Brandon's my family. So is Bruce. I have to know the truth.
The family of Brandon Lee is in mourning, and they are also angry. It's the same mix of emotions they felt 20 years ago when Bruce Lee died mysteriously at age 32. Early reports said that 28-year-old Brandon's fatal shooting on a movie set last week was an accident, but now there is even talk of murder.
If I had a child, and then for some reason I weren't around to take care of my child, I would want whatever I had accomplished with my life to be of a benefit to him.
Brandon Lee didn't have any children, but he was planning on marrying longtime girlfriend Eliza Hutton this month. That was until tragedy struck. It was here at the Carol Co. Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina, that actor Brandon Lee was filming The Crow. Ironically, the film is about a man who dies and comes back to life to avenge his death.
There have been so many accidents on the set of this movie.
Journalist Julianne Gary was following the strange goings-on at The Crow set for Entertainment Weekly.
A carpenter was severely burned when live wires connected with the piece of equipment he was working on. That was followed by 2 other accidents that same day. The cast and crew started referring to the curse of the Crow.
Nothing ever seemed to go right.
One crew member from The Crow set agreed to talk with us, but only if he remained anonymous.
People have tried to say it was haunted. I don't know about that, but there definitely was some bad vibes on this set.
Earlier last week, there was a sense of relief on the set of The Crow. The cast and crew had weathered all of the bizarre accidents, and there was only a week or 2 left of filming. According to the executive producer, all of the dangerous stunts were in the can. Little did they know that the curse of the Crow was about to strike with more fury than ever. Shortly after midnight last Tuesday, Brandon Lee was preparing to film a routine action scene. The script called for him to get shot at as he walked through a door carrying a bag of groceries. Michael Massey, the actor doing the shooting, is reportedly devastated by Lee's death and remains in seclusion. The gun he was using was supposed to be loaded with blanks. When the cameras rolled, Brandon Lee was performing for the last time.
and he was in, critical condition. Somehow at that point, I don't know, I mean, I've got chills right down my spine, and I felt that he's not going to make it.
Mr. Lee's heart stopped, and efforts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful.
Wednesday afternoon, Brandon Lee was pronounced dead. The autopsy revealed some shocking information.
A .44 caliber bullet was removed from Lee's body. Detectives are proceeding with the investigation.
You don't see a .44 caliber slug on a movie set, and it's just that simple.
Ed Parker Jr. is a martial arts expert, an actor who appears in a new film biography about Bruce Lee. His father trained Bruce Lee back in the 60s. He says some in the martial arts world believe that Brandon Lee was murdered.
First talking about it being a projectile, then it being a .44 caliber slug. It goes from an accident to murder.
Brandon Lee's publicist has been quoted as saying it's no longer believed to be a special effect gone wrong. He's asking for a murder probe.
Look,
just let me ask you whether it's going to be criminally negligent homicide.
Get out of here.
The DA on the case wouldn't talk with us, but Sergeant J.J. Leitner, the detective heading the investigation, did.
Has murder been ruled out?
Nothing's been ruled out. I have a gut feeling, but I can't tell anybody what it is.
So who would want to snuff out the life of this up-and-coming action star? That was the same question that was being asked back in 1973 when Bruce Lee died mysteriously from what the coroner listed as swelling of the brain.
The whole family believed that he's murdered, okay? Now,
the most popular rumor about Bruce Lee's death was that he had been rubbed out by the violent Asian gang, the Triads, who people believed were linked to rivals in the movie industry.
It was, in my father's opinion, not mine, that there was definitely foul play involved as far as the Chinese syndicate was concerned.
Because the facts in the Brandon Lee killing are so sketchy, it has led to speculation that he may also have been the victim of foul play. That theory seems to play out when you consider the chilling plot of his father's final film. In Game of Death, Bruce Lee plays an actor filming a scene in which he is shot at.
Gentlemen, these are blanks.
Unbeknownst to Bruce Lee's character, among the actors shooting at Lee is an assassin with a loaded gun. It's a chilling mirror image of what many say happened to Brandon. But many of the mourners at a memorial for Brandon Lee in Los Angeles yesterday seem to dismiss the murder plots.
Terrible, terrible accident happened on the set.
Others are still asking questions.
So something is terribly, terribly wrong here. And either, somebody's trying to murder him or there's some kind of gross negligence.
The question remains, where did the bullet come from that killed Brandon Lee? Some believe a piece of a prop bullet without gunpowder in it may have been left accidentally in the gun. When the blank was fired at Brandon, some feel it shot out the prop bullet, mortally wounding him.
The movie was an accident waiting to happen.
The Crow crew member we spoke with says that there were many opportunities for an accident to happen.
Are the working conditions on the set of The Crow particularly bad?
Extremely long hours, 18-hour days back to back at times, pushing 90 to 100 hours a week in 6-day weeks was way too much.
Do you think that overwork, that exhaustion might have resulted in this accident?
Safety precautions, all of them were definitely not followed. It could have been prevented with better management.
The publicist for the movie The Crow denies that the working conditions were unsafe.
Certainly everyone was very tired and exhausted from the shoot, but these are professionals, and they're used to working in conditions like this.
No matter what caused Brandon Lee's tragic death, it's another serious blow to the Lee family.